Can you hear me okay? Great. Welcome. Thanks so much, everyone, for sticking around to listen to my presentation, last one of the day, I believe. So, yeah, I really appreciate you taking the time to come and listen. My name's Carla Booth. I am the Commercial Director at Skyborne Airline Academy. So my job, fundamentally, is to work with the airlines to open as many doors as possible for graduates of ours that have enrolled on our, what we call our Whitetail programme, our integrated course, or indeed go through tagging processes or pre-select processes with airline programmes that we will absolutely talk about today in our presentation, which I'm told is a 30-minute slot, so I will do my best to be punchy and get through it, and of course answer any questions that you have towards the end. I'm not in a rush to leave today, so we can take as long as we need for any Q&A at the end of the day. Okay, so that's me. So the presentation has been designed to tell you a little bit about us beyond flight training. So I think it's fair to say that the room next door is filled with lots of reputable training providers, and it's not my job to sort of necessarily talk you through the footprint today. Hopefully you've gone and met people on our stand and got that detail from them directly, and I've seen the Skyborne goodie bags coming through the door, which is great. This is to talk about maybe some of the, I would say, peripheral elements of what we provide, which is also very important, but maybe isn't always at the forefront of your mind when you're thinking about your flight training journey and the what's the word, the criteria that you're using to select your provider. So hopefully this will be informative and maybe provide you with some insights into things that maybe you've not previously considered. So first of all, mental health support. This is something that we take very seriously. So for some of you, or many people that we see starting their flight training journey with Skyborne, it could be their first time living away from home, which in itself is, you know, a milestone in your development. And it can be quite stressful, and it can be a little bit challenging, learning how to cook for yourself, not burn the baked beans, and how to, you know, keep up with the laundry and that sort of thing, as well as trying to cope with the demands of an integrated course. It can become overwhelming for some people, and it's okay to say that I'm not feeling okay about this. So we have a team of mental health first aiders on site, both here in our, I say here in the UK, in our Gloucester site, but also in Vero Beach, our Florida location. So we've got trained people that are visible to you on a day-to-day basis that you can go to talk about anything that's not training related that you might just need a bit of a helping hand with. And we also appreciate that sometimes things can be a little bit more serious than just the day-to-day challenges. There could be some life-changing events that impact you, and we take that also very, very seriously. So if you've got challenges within your family life that's outside of training, they can absolutely impact your performance in training. So it's important to speak up, and we will get you the support and the guidance that you might need. So we partner with an organisation called Red Umbrella, hence the Red Umbrella, and they are a team external to us, so it's a confidential support service that we provide free of charge to our Skyborne trainees, and it's an opportunity for you to reach out to them and seek professional support should you ever need it at any phase in your training. They have pilots, commercial pilots, who are actually trained therapists as well, so they know what you're going through. They've been through this journey themselves, so they can absolutely relate to the pressures that you're feeling and, you know, the ups and downs that you might feel. So they're a really good source of support along the way. It doesn't just stop there either. So when you've graduated from Skyborne and you start your career, your flying career, again, there's going to be challenges throughout your time your flying time. So you might want to reach out for some mental health support during your career. So we will extend this support, and it's available to you via our alumni platform. Again, you can seek some confidential advice should you need to. We're really open about mental health, but I do understand that sometimes people feel there may be a stigma attached to that conversation. We absolutely openly encourage it, which is why this is important to us. And again, this is why we have this available to all of our graduates throughout their flying career. So that's the first point. Secondly, Performance protection. So any of you who attended the Q&A session that I participated in earlier today, I touched on this very, very briefly, but I didn't want to monopolise the session with all about us. So we can go into it in a bit more detail here. So we understand that you and your family, when you're embarking on your flight training journey, you are taking on a very significant financial burden, and there's a huge amount of risk that is associated with that. So we want to put you at ease, I suppose, and share in that risk that you are taking by offering everybody on our integrated course this package. So what it means is, once you have successfully completed our selection process, we are so sure that you've got the right stuff to be successful through our training programme that we will provide you with a guarantee or a protection that says if you are to fail during your integrated course, we will refund the monies you have paid to us minus a £10,000 non-refundable element. But everything else will be refunded to you if you were to effectively be terminated from training, if I use the official language. So hopefully, I mean, I have to say, it's very, very unlikely. And the reason we can make this statement is because we have had such a track record of success, and in my previous career and Lee's previous career, we've always done versions of this, so we know what good looks like through our selection process. And I'm glad to say that this just really doesn't come up as a topic during training very often at all. What it also means is that we understand that sometimes you can have a bad day. So if you maybe fail an exam or 2 or 3, and you need some additional support, some additional training, and to resit those exams, then we will also cover that additional cost for you. So you're not having to continually go back to your sponsors asking for more money because you need to do a little bit extra. So that is something that we commit to, is training you to proficiency. Now, I'll caveat that statement with, of course, there is a limit to what that additional training looks like, because we want you to be successful in your onward career. And if it gets to a point whereby your training performance is such that we believe that there could be some challenges in you obtaining your first airline role, then we would have a very, very frank conversation with you so that you understand the challenges that you might face, so that you understand whether you want to continue on this journey or not. So we endeavour to be very, very open, but ultimately we want to support people to success. Customer service training. This is something that the airlines really like to hear about when I speak with them. So it's, as a commercial pilot, the clue's in the title. You have a commercial obligation to your airline. So you're not just flying people from A to B. There are a lot of additional responsibilities outside of the technical responsibilities that will be put upon you to ensure the airline's success. So we will take you out of the training, out of flight training for one day, and we will provide you with some training and guidance in terms of what those responsibilities look like. So simple things like how to give a good PA announcement, how to ensure that you are always that you're upholding uniform standards. So even from the moment you get up in the morning, put your uniform on, you're driving to Heathrow for your duty, and you're at the fuel station filling up, you're in your uniform, you are representing your airline. It's really about understanding that you are an ambassador for the brand that you're working for, and ensuring that you uphold their values at every part of your life. So that's a really important part of the training, and the airlines are keen to contribute to that. So if you join Skyborne on a particular pre-selected programme, you may find that there are aspects that are tailored to the airline that you're destined for. So British Airways, for instance, have expressed a desire to contribute to the syllabus for customer service because clearly they've got a wealth of experience and a wealth of material that they're very happy to share as part of our relationship, which is great. So the facilities and the locations. It's fair to say that it's no accident that Skyborne has chosen the locations that we have. So we headquarter at Gloucester. Have any of you visited us at Gloucester? Yeah, a couple of hands. Yeah, in fact, there's a few people that are local. So Gloucester Airport is fantastic for general aviation. There's a lot of traffic in the area. So from a training environment, it is busy. And it's good to have that exposure as well to the great British weather whilst you're in a training environment. During the single engine phases, you will be completing your training out in Florida. So that's where our fair weather base is, in Vero Beach. So you'll spend 6 months of your time over in Vero Beach, flying the Warrior and also the Arrow as well to complete your CPL. So that's really why we've chosen where they are, because they lend themselves perfectly to a solid training environment, and you get the very, very best from those situations. The facilities that we have at both locations are also purpose-built. So Gloucester was, I joined the company in February 2019, and when I went to start my first day, it was basically steels out of the ground. That was what was there. So it was something that was, the concept was off plan, and Lee just basically said, this is what I know good looks like from a flight training perspective. So it's all been built from the ground up. And we were lucky enough to have the opportunity, as I mentioned in the Q&A earlier, during the pandemic, we were still in growth mode. So we realised that the industry was going to bounce back after this awful situation. So we wanted to be prepared and ready for it. So we were in the market to acquire a second site, a fair weather base. People thought we were insane. What on earth are you doing? An aviation training company during a pandemic, going out there and trying to expand. But thank goodness we did, because the industry is now bounced back with a vengeance, and it is in boom at the moment. So we are able to respond to that demand very quickly and safely. So we acquired what was Flight Safety Academy, based out in Vero Beach. So it's been there since the 60s, I think. It's very well established, and a huge amount of history and legacy through that brand. But they moved out of the academy market to focus on their simulator side of the business. So it came up for sale, and we jumped at the opportunity to review. So we've now brought all of those facilities up to speed. I think it's fair to say that some of the rooms hadn't been touched since the 60s, so they needed a revamp. And now everything is all fit for purpose and up to standard. And when you visit, it feels very much like our Gloucester site. We've made every attempt to ensure that the look and feel is consistent across both locations. So another benefit to our integrated course is that you can not only develop yourselves professionally with your flying qualifications, but you also have the opportunity to add a university degree, a full BSc honours degree, as part of our training. So we partner with the University of West London, and when this concept was floated, we basically worked with them to ensure that the workload was not going to be overwhelming, because we know that the flight training workload is already significant. So they've applied academic credits to our training syllabus, and the good news was that it's obviously so complete. There's such a lot of content in there that we were most of the way there to I think it was an ordinary degree, just that alone. So what they have then done is created 6 additional modules that you will complete during your flight training in Florida. And there's also a dissertation to be completed once you've graduated from Skyborne. So you'll spend an additional 6 months in association with the university to complete your degree. Should you wish to take this option on, it's not compulsory. It's just a value add, I suppose. I think when you're looking to pursue this career, often what happens is you've known since you were this high that you want to be a pilot, and you're itching to get there, but maybe there are some other influences in your life that might say, are you sure? Should we just like maybe have a fallback plan? Maybe just complete your education. Let's go and do a degree as well. So this gives you the opportunity to actually combine both of those things in a very time and financially efficient way. So there are, of course, then financial benefits to adding the degree, because it then means your course has gone from professional to educational. So you, if you haven't already taken a student loan, that will be open to you. So you could take, the degree is classed as a 2-year degree, and off the top of my head, the loan amount would be £22,200 that you would be able to take to contribute towards your degree education with us. So it also helps then in terms of when you're thinking of your finances, and in some instances as well, it can mean that you have the opportunity to apply for maintenance loans and grants as well because of the association with the degree. So it's worth thinking about if you're considering your future education options. Graduate placement. So this is the space I mentioned that I occupy predominantly in my career. Well, in the 16 years that I've been working with flight training providers, this is the space where I've spent most of my time. So we commit to supporting all of our integrated and also our combined modular graduates with achieving their first all-important job. The first one's the toughest. After that, it gets a lot simpler. But it's quite scary going into the real world, thinking I've got 225 hours. Who on earth is going to take me? So that's my job, is to support you in opening as many doors as I possibly can, talking with you about your aspirations, if there's particular airlines that you aspire to work with that perhaps we don't currently have a relationship with. I'm very happy to go knocking on doors and ask questions and poke around. But I'm glad to say that we work with some very, very attractive airline brands and have existing and ongoing relationships with them. 90% of our graduates have been placed to date. In fact, just 6 of them dropped into my lap just yesterday. So it gives you an idea of how up to date those statistics are. So those people have already received an email from me just yesterday evening to say, would you be interested in applying to EasyJet? So it's a very fluid situation, and I take this very seriously. It's my obligation to make sure that everybody is sorted with a job one way or another, and we can get quite creative with that as well. So at the moment we're working with FlightCal. They are doing flight calibration. So they're doing survey flights, that sort of thing, out of Shoreham. So again, that could be a slightly alternative route that some people are interested in. We're also looking at if there are flight instructor opportunities as well for some people, because we've had two people that have recently finished their training and gone, I hadn't really thought about being a flight instructor before. It was just always the airlines, but you've really opened my eyes to other opportunities. So we're now looking at what other avenues there could be available for them in terms of ratings. And there you go. Here's the brands that I was referring to. So we have placed pilots with all of these recently, within the last, I'd say, 9 to 12 months. So British Airways, I'll talk about next, but they are obviously a very strong partner with Skyborne through the Speedbird Academy and also now through their self-sponsored pathway as well. So we've got over 30 plus of our integrated trainees that have now got conditional offers from British Airways through the self-sponsored route, as well as obviously the Speedbird Pilot Academy trainees that started with us in March, and we've got a few more starting with us a week Monday. So that's ongoing. Loganair, we've had a fair few, probably 7 or 8 people go to Loganair recently, and that relationship is very strong, and we're looking to strengthen that further. We had several go to TUI last summer. Many of them just recently completed their line training, and my LinkedIn is fantastic. I love it. These alerts popping up every other day of people that have reached these exciting milestones in their flying career. So TUI was one of the recent ones. DHL are they don't take a huge number of cadets, I think it's fair to say, because of the type of operation that they are. But we've got a very close relationship with them, and they've probably taken 10 or so people from us over the 5 years that we've been operating. And again, we're hoping to strengthen that relationship further. EasyJet I've mentioned, so they've taken our graduates and we are now tagging. So we're actively tagging for people to start type ratings with them in August, September and beyond. So that was the notification that went out to the trainees yesterday, which is very exciting. My inbox, I looked earlier, is now filling up with people that are excited to apply. Titan, so they did a very small cadet programme at the beginning of the year, and 3 of our graduates were successful in achieving their role, which has been brilliant news. They're off. Ryanair, just a handful of people because they are looking for EASA licences, and we currently only provide UK CAA licences. So the few that did go to Ryanair went through an EASA conversion process before they could take that opportunity. Jet2, same numbers through their apprenticeship programme, sort of 8s, 9s, 10s, that sort of thing. Euroflyer. So in terms of British Airways, when you apply to BA, you're not applying to a specific brand. You are applying to BA, and they manage their recruitment centrally. So you could find that you are placed with any one of those 3 brands within the BA umbrella. Wizz Air are also, they haven't recruited for a little while, but they're still, we've had lots and lots of our graduates go to them over the last couple of years. Ascend, I didn't mention. Ascend are a new airline, if you've not heard of them. In fact, Josh was on our stand today. He was there with his Ascend lanyard, just going through his type rating. He's very excited to be with a new. To be part of a new airline, and to sort of help them carve their way is really exciting. So I think they've already offered him a role within the recruitment team as well. So I'm quite glad to hear that. Okay, so British Airways. So we are the exclusive UK partner for the Speedbird Pilot Academy, which is really exciting. So we concluded the first intake in December of last year, and as I've said, we've got our first cohorts now coming through. So March, they started again in a week Monday. We've got our next intake. So there's 60 pilots that will be starting with us throughout 2024, and we are now, I am sure you're all acutely aware, in the middle of the next application window. It's due to close on Friday, but they will close it early if they are overwhelmed with applications. So if you haven't already started it or got it moving, I would suggest that you don't hang around too long so you don't miss the opportunity. The process starts with a BA process, so they will do the initial screening. There's some online tests that you need to undertake, so situational judgment, there's maths, there's also a PA assessment as well, which I really like. So they'll give you a scenario and then you have to speak to the camera and say, okay, what would I say to the passengers if I was faced with this situation? And then you will go through the Skyborne phase, which is online assessment, so Aon aptitude testing. So numeracy assessments, things like hand-eye coordination, capacity tests, reaction speeds, those sorts of things. And then you will be invited to Waterside, so British Airways headquarters at Heathrow, and you will meet the Skyborne team alongside British Airways pilots for the interview process. And then last but not least, you will then be invited to the final BA stage, which I haven't observed, but I'm desperate to do it this time. It sounds really good. You're basically, it sounds like you're speed dating. That's probably the best way of describing it. So it's lots of really fast, punchy activities and quick fire questions through the interview. So yeah, I'm desperate to see it this time around, but it's highly competitive, of course. And we saw 24,000 applicants to the first intake, and they ultimately selected the top 100. So that gives you an idea of how competitive. But I'm not saying that's put you off, not at all. I'm saying that it is possible. That if you have got the right stuff, if you put the right effort in, the right preparation, there is no reason why you could not be in that top 100. So, just put the work in, really understand their business, really get across your motivation to work for them specifically. That will go a long way throughout the whole process. Okay. just a few snaps of some of our facilities. So this is our 737 MAX simulator at Gloucester. This is outside the training centre in Vero Beach. There's a pool at Vero Beach. There's a volleyball court. There's all sorts going on over there. We do try and make sure there's a work-life balance. I sometimes am in danger of sounding like it's some sort of, boot camp. It is hard work, but we also believe in having good fun as well. So we arrange regular events to get people together. And Vero Beach is great for that because it's a bit of a melting pot because it services so many of the different courses that we provide. So Delta Airlines, we work with, their academy is run there. Indigo, our Indian partner, they're also trained there, all the UK courses, all the US courses. So it's it's very multicultural, and it's a great opportunity for you to mix with completely new people as part of your development and learning. Okay, that's it from me. So I'm not sure what time is. That was not bad timing. So has anyone got any questions or anything they would like to ask that they're happy to share with the floor? Or if not, you can obviously come up and ask me once we've finished.
If you want to self-fund, how much of that degree process and the funding for the student finance reduces the cost of the self-funding option?
That is a great question. So I'm not sure how of the actual mechanics of that, and I would suggest speaking to the flight training advisors. And the reason I'm saying that is because the degree funds don't come prior to your course start, so you need to have the funds in place. They come at the conclusion of your academic years, so you will get the first lot at the end of year 1, and then the second lot at year 2. Is my understanding.
Does the full 20,000 go to the university?
It does, yeah, it does. But it doesn't. But there are bursary amounts that the university will offer, which will give some money back to you. But it's a complicated mechanism. So I would definitely advise speaking to the flight training advisors that we have, Carrie and Will. They'll be able to talk to you specifically about the mechanism. Any other questions? No? Okay, great. Well, thanks ever so much, everyone. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you soon. Thank you.